you doing? It's your boy, Mr. Flipperhouse, also better known as TJ Hines, coming to you live from Tampa, Florida, right here in my home office. I want to just do something very brief for you guys, as I usually do every week. I get on here and answer questions that have been sent in from people who either follow me on my list or my subscribers on YouTube. I just want to say I appreciate all the support, guys, all the love. I appreciate you reaching out to me. For those of you who have been reaching out, allowing me to assist you in all of your real estate endeavors regarding wholesaling real estate. So what we're going to do is pretty much do what we always do, is go ahead and chime in and answer a few questions. For all of you guys out there, if this is your first time chiming into this video, I'm a real estate investor. I've been investing now for a little over 3 years. I invest primarily in two markets, down here in Tampa, Florida, where my home base market is. I expanded up to Atlanta, Georgia probably about 1.5 years ago. Well over 100 real estate transactions closed. Right now in the process of raising private capital for my company. About to start spreading our wings more and get this rehab program off the ground. Matter of fact, we're getting ready to close on our first rehab that could potentially net us anywhere from $40,000 to $50,000. So I'm very excited about that. Very excited about everything that I have going on. If you do have any questions or concerns regarding wholesale real estate, please send all your inquiries to info@mrflipperhouse.com, and I'll remind you guys as we get ready to wrap it up. So let's dive on in and answer just a few questions here and see if whatever I'm able to answer can help you guys out along the way. First question, or the first email: what's up, TJ? My name is Fred, and I just wanted to say that I enjoy all of your videos. I wanted to know if you could make a video on how you could estimate repairs as a new wholesaler. As a new wholesaler, I wouldn't get caught up into trying to figure out what the repairs are on the property. All you need to know is have an idea of what's wrong with the property. If the property needs a new AC, or if the property needs a new roof, how's the plumbing, electrical. Those are the 4 biggest mechanical items that you want to worry about when you're coming into a property. So you want to be able to identify those first. Anything after that is pretty much just cosmetics. One thing you don't want to do is get yourself caught up in all of these formulas when you're trying to wholesale real estate, because you're not the person that's actually going to assume all the responsibility and liability by taking on the workload, meaning taking on all of the risk by coming in, doing all the repairs on the property, and either put it back out on the market as a fix and flip for retail or hold on to it for cash flow. You're simply a guy that is simply having a meeting of the minds, and you want to put together the buyer and the seller, and in the midst of all that, you're the guy in the middle that is getting paid a wholesale fee to present this particular deal to your end buyer, helping the seller cure their problem, whatever their problem may be at the particular time. So don't get yourself caught up in all the formulas. What you should do, though, is align yourself with some realtors or even other investors who may have access to MLS in your particular market that you're farming, and you want to be able to run comps on that property in that specific neighborhood or area, comparable to beds, baths, square footage, and as well as what condition the property is in that you are interested in buying. So for instance, if properties in that area, 3 2-block homes are selling for $40,000 with a lot of repairs that are needed, then you want to try to acquire that property for at least $25,000, $30,000, so that way you can build a spread up in there, and the comps will be able to let you know that. They'll also be able to let you know once the property has been fully repaired what you could possibly sell it for. Alright, so just worry about the comps on properties that are being sold in the same area that are similar in beds, baths, square footage, and how much does it need in repairs. So if you could find some properties that are similar to yours, then you'll have an idea of what you need to contract the property for. Okay, so you always want to kind of leave like $10,000 to $15,000 room, $20,000 room spread there, so you have some room for negotiations as well. So if you know you want to make $10,000 off of this property, then of course you can't get it for $30,000. You want to try to get the property for about $20,000 to $25,000 if you want to make a nice little decent wholesale fee there. So don't get yourself caught up in that. Just worry about the comps, okay? So moving on to the next question. Fred, I appreciate you sending in your inquiry as well. We're going to move on to the next question though. Let me see what we got here. Alright, and this is Robert Newman. Can you wholesale a house if it has a current mortgage or a loan against it? Not sure what type of loan. Yes, you can wholesale a property that has a current loan or outstanding mortgage on the property. You just got to make sure that the sellers don't owe more than what the property is worth. There are a lot of situations out there where the seller may owe more than what the property is worth, and there's really no opportunity for you to come in and make a profit there. So you want to first identify how much they owe, and let's just say if the seller has a property that's valued at $80,000 and they owe a $20,000 mortgage on it, and this property needs no repairs and it's pretty much move-in ready. Well, of course there's a lot of room there for you to make some money, okay? But if the seller owes $20,000 and the property is only worth $10,000, and it's really nothing that you can pretty much do at that point. So figure out first exactly what is the payoff balance, and you want to try to get a payoff balance within 30 days moving forward from the point you are actually communicating with the seller. So if it's something that you think you could do, if you already know the values in your particular area, for instance, I come across these similar situations all the time, and especially down here in Tampa, I can automatically pinpoint an area and tell you what the values are worth in that particular area. Okay, so when a seller calls me and they may tell me that they have an outstanding balance on their mortgage, and I would ask them, well, roughly about how much, and they will give me that figure, I would automatically know whether I possibly may have a deal or not. So just being in this game for a while, learning your particular market that you're in, and being able to make quick, fast decisions will allow you to save yourself a lot of time and help you out more in the long run. So that was actually a good question, because it's something that I once thought about when I very first started investing in real estate myself. To move on, this is actually part 2 of this question here. If the end buyer is using a LOC, an LOC, that's a line of credit, guys, can we still sell to him? End buyer said he couldn't use my assignment of contract with this bank. I would hate to lose him because he is looking to buy 50 houses. Well, it's not necessarily you're going to lose him. And if he's first, let me just address this. You won't lose the guy, okay? If he's a real investor, he knows that every deal that he's going to look at may not be the deal for him. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to keep shopping and keep sending these deals to him as you come across them. And sooner or later, you're probably going to hit the target, and he's going to be interested in something that you have. But not every deal that I send out to my guys that I do a lot of business with, they may be interested in it. One may be interested in it if the other one's not. And it just really all depends on the preference of the buyer and their buying criteria. So don't think that you're going to lose a guy. Just make sure that you get all of his contact information. especially his email address, a working phone number where he'd be contacted. And anytime that you get something new, just go ahead and send it to him by email or give him a call personally and say, hey, look, check this deal I got out. I ran the numbers already, and I think you could get a nice little profit out of it, and see if he will be interested at that point moving forward. But to answer the first part of that question, can your buyer use a line of credit? In these particular transactions, when you're looking to get paid a wholesale fee, the best way to close this transaction is either through some type of transactional funding, cash, whether it's transactional funding, hard money, or just straight up cash. Okay, and this is going to allow you to get paid very, very easily in the transaction without all the headaches and stuff like that. Banks do not usually accept assignment of contracts. Alright, the bank wants the investor, whoever is actually selling the property to the end buyer, they want to see that you actually closed and you had some type of vested interest in this property before you sell it to your end buyer. So the bank is not going to accept an assignment of contract. What you can possibly do, though, is set it up as a double closing with your closing attorney or title company, and you might be able to double close on it. But check with your attorney on that, because I've never used an end buyer's line of credit to purchase properties from me as a wholesale transaction. But as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I think that there possibly can be an opportunity to get that done. Just consult with whatever title company or closing attorney that you're using, like I said, and they should be able to help you out from that point moving forward. I appreciate you for sending in your inquiry as well, Mr. Robert Newman. So let's move on here. I think we may have one more question to answer here. Let me see. Yeah, I don't want to answer that one. That's a little too vague. Okay. Let's see here. I want to work with you, but I don't have the funding just yet. Okay, let's see here. Alright, I think we have one here now, guys. Okay, let's see here. First, I want to thank you for everything you are doing for us people who are trying to learn from the best resources in the game. Your lessons have taught and inspired me to begin wholesaling houses. And I tell you what, man, that's very, very touching. As I sit back in my chair, I just want to say thank you to Aaron from Florida, Aaron Blunt from Florida. I appreciate you and all your support as well, too, man. And if you're serious about this business, you're going to make it. So just to go ahead and answer a few of your questions here, I have a pretty good understanding of wholesaling houses, but the one thing that I am still unconfident about is the whole contract and paperwork part of the wholesaling deal. From what I understand, there are only two contracts that a wholesaler has to deal with: purchase and sales agreement between you and the seller, and the assignment contract between you and the buyer. But what I am really confused about is, do you use a standard P&S and assignment contract you print online, or do you have one written up by an attorney? Can you use the same P&S and assignment contracts with majority of deals, or do you have to get it looked over every time? That's a pretty good question there. And to go ahead and answer that question, yes, I use a very standard 2-page as-is contract. And it's so standard and straightforward, a second grader can read it. And I did have my attorney go over it before I actually started transacting, using this particular piece of paperwork that allowed me to close on deals, and actually use this in both markets that I invest in. And you want to go ahead and have an attorney look over your contract. They may charge you a couple bucks just for their time, but I think that it's well worth it, just to make sure that you're protecting yourself and you don't get yourself in any hot water that you possibly can't get out of. So yeah, go ahead and consult with your attorney. Now, once you consult with your attorney on those two agreements, your P&S agreement and your assignment, you don't have to consult with your attorney every time you get ready to use those documents. Those documents are pretty much legally binding at that point once you consult with your attorney, and you can go ahead and use them for all future transactions that you may get into in the future. So go ahead and consult with your attorney on the documents that you want to use. You can reach out to me if you want a personal document. It may take me a few days to get it to you. But you can also hook up with other wholesalers in your particular area and see what kind of documents that they're using, and see if you can get a copy of their documents from them. And that's a good way to go about getting it for free if you don't want to pay for them. Alright, so go ahead and do that and you should be good. That is all for today, guys. I hope that you got something out of this. I love giving back. I know that my time is kind of cut down on this. I used to do a lot of these videos every week, but now I try to get here at least once a week simply because of everything that has taken course in my career moving forward. And there's just been a lack of time to really sit down with you guys. But I wish I could. At least I'm coming in here now answering as many questions as I can, and hopefully that you guys can use that information moving forward. Take notes, replay this video back and forth, and just take heed to this information, guys, and apply it. Just don't be here listening to all this good stuff and you're not applying it. Then I wouldn't even really listen to it if it was me, if I had no consideration, or I had no drive to want to use any of this info that I'm gaining. So do me and yourselves a big favor. Click the button above me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you don't have my book, go out and get it. It's on Amazon right now. It's called Virtual Wholesaling for Dummies. You can grab that now for $5. I also have the first edition to that book, which is Mr. Flipperhouse Presents Wholesaling as Simple as Your ABCs, and you can actually download that for free on my blog at mrflipperhouse.com. And be sure to make sure that you tune in, because you don't want to miss out on any of this great stuff that I have to cover. Be sure to send all your inquiries in. Once again, questions or concerns. If I don't get to your question on video, it may be something that I could just answer right away and reply back to you quickly. So go ahead and send all your questions and concerns in, and I'll get with you. And until the next time, this is your boy, Mr. Flipper House. Do me, yourselves a big favor. Get up off your butts and go flip some houses. Peace.